Hello. Today I'll be reading one of our Bresnahan books to you. The one that I'll be reading to you today is called Winnie, and it is the true story of the bear who inspired the Winnie the Pooh stories that we know. The author is Sally Walker, and the illustrator is Jonathan Voss. Now, I like this book because in the beginning and the end, they have a whole bunch of actual pictures of the real Winnie and the gentleman who took care of her when she was a baby. His name was Harry Colburn, and as you can see, he was in the military. And Winnie was kind of in the military with him. If you look very closely in this picture, Winnie is sitting right in his lap. She was just a little bit of a baby when he first got her and brought her into the army with him. When Harry Colburn looked out of the train window, he couldn't believe what he saw. He saw a bear at the station. The train stop would be sure, but Harry had to get off and see that bear for himself. Harry hurried onto the platform and sat nearby. "What are you doing here, little bear?" The cub climbed right into Harry's lap and licked his chin. "She's for sale," said the man holding her leash. "I didn't see her until after I shot her mother. I don't want her. I can't care for a bear." Well, Harry could care for a bear. He was a veterinarian. "How much?" Harry asked. $20. The train whistle blew, and Harry decided. He paid the man, picked up the cub, and carried her onto the train. Harry's friends asked a million questions, but the captain asked the loudest, "Harry, what in the world were you thinking?" "That I had to save her." The cub rubbed her back against the captain's legs. The captain patted her head. "I'll care for her, sir," Harry said. "I'll feed her condensed milk. She can stay with me in camp. Winnipeg here will be our mascot." "You've already named her?" asked the captain. "Yes, sir, after our company's hometown." "Well, Winnipeg," the captain said, "welcome to the army." By the time they reached the military training camp at Valcartier in Quebec, Winnipeg had been shortened to Winnie. Now, Harry's job was caring for the horses that would be needed for battle, and Winnie's job was to be Harry's shadow. While Harry listened to a horse's heart, Winnie nuzzled its muzzle. If the horse snorted and scared Winnie, Harry cuddled her until she stopped trembling. Winnie's favorite game was hide-and-go-seek biscuits. Using her long claws, she pulled hidden biscuits from Harry's pockets. "Good girl," Harry praised her when she succeeded. Sometimes Harry went places where Winnie could not, and then the other soldiers would cub sit. They photographed Winnie, they took her for walks, but no matter where Winnie went during the day, she slept under Harry's cot every night. One morning while Harry tied his bootlaces, Winnie grabbed the tent pole. The tent wall shook. "Winnie, no!" Harry shouted. After that, Harry let Winnie climb small trees, but he always held her leash so that she couldn't climb too high. A month passed. The captain received bad news. "The war across the Atlantic Ocean is getting worse. More soldiers and horses are needed. We must leave Canada and go to England. The ships will be leaving in a few days." Harry couldn't leave Winnie. "Sir, she must come with us." The other soldiers agreed. When the horses and the soldiers boarded the SS Manitou, so did Winnie. Winnie was a good sailor, but Harry was not. He lay seasick in the ship's hospital. While he was sick, Winnie played with the other soldiers, but she ran straight to Harry as soon as he was better. In England, Harry, Winnie, and the horses traveled to a new military camp. For 7 weeks, Winnie watched soldiers practice marching. She heard gunshots when they practiced shooting. And still, every night, She slept under Harry's cot. One day the captain said, "The war is even worse. We must go to France and care for the horses that get wounded." On a battlefield, Winnie could be hurt or even killed. Harry did not want to leave Winnie, but he couldn't take her to France. He thought long and hard. Finally, Harry contacted the London Zoo. "Winnie, the zoo has a brand new place called Mapen Terraces, which was built just for bears, and zookeepers know exactly how to care for a bear." The ride to the zoo was long. Winnie sat on Harry's lap. She wiggled on the seat. She scratched at the door. Harry was relieved when he and Winnie got out at the zoo. A zookeeper escorted Harry and Winnie to Mapen Terraces. Harry removed Winnie's collar and leash. She climbed over a rock. She sniffed 2 brown bear cubs. She lapped condensed milk when the zookeeper offered it. Harry was satisfied. "Winnie, I'll visit whenever I can. When the war ends, we'll go home to Winnipeg." Harry hugged Winnie goodbye. Winnie and the brown cubs became fast friends. But the big Himalayan bear she approached was not so friendly. He swatted at Winnie. Winnie ran as fast as she could. The zookeepers were worried. But even that grumpy Himalayan bear could not resist Winnie. Within a few days, they were playing tug of war with a stick. "We never met a bear as gentle as Winnie," the zookeeper said. "They trusted her so much that they let children sometimes ride on her back." Harry visited Winnie whenever he could, but the war lasted 4 years. During that time, the zookeepers took good care of his bear, and Winnie had many friends. In 1919, just before Harry returned to Winnipeg, he made another hard decision. He decided that Winnie would stay at the London Zoo permanently. Harry was sad, but he knew that Winnie would be happiest in the home that she knew best. One day when Winnie was nearly 11 years old, a little boy visited her. "Oh, bear!" cried the boy, whose name was Christopher Robin. He hugged Winnie and he fed her milk. The boy's father, a well-known author, watched his son laugh and play with the bear. And all the way home, Christopher Robin talked about Winnie. At bedtime, Christopher Robin and his Teddy snuggled under the covers. "Would you and Edward Bear like to hear a story?" asked the boy's father. "Yes," said Christopher Robin, "but Edward has changed his name to Winnie the Pooh." "Once upon a time," said his father, "a bear named Winnie the Pooh lived in a forest." More stories followed until one day they grew into a book. And here we have one of the books at our library called The House at Pooh Corner, and the author is A.A. Milne, Christopher Robin's father. After that, the real Winnie became even more famous. Although more people came to see her, Winnie's everyday life remained normal. The zookeepers treated her kindly, friendly visitors scratched her back, and gentle children spoon-fed her milk. For Winnie, this was the best way to care for a bear. And back here is a picture of Winnie and her zookeeper. There's the real boy, Christopher Robin, his father, A.A. Milne. And over here is a picture of Christopher Robin and Winnie the real. And here is a picture of them based on A.A. Milne's stories. I hope you enjoyed hearing the real story about Winnie the Pooh. Thank you.